Inside the Evansville Police Department, hundreds of men and women have taken an oath to uphold the law and serve the community. But one woman is leading the charge in how to be much more than just a badge and uniform.
The world is my oyster, and I'm so blessed because my chief doesn't have to allow me the autonomy that he does. I can do whatever projects that I think would be good for our community.
She will emphatically deny it, but her resume doesn't lie.
No, I've never considered myself remarkable in any means. I just enjoy what I get to do.
Taylor Merris, EPD's Special Projects Coordinator, has been with the department for nearly a decade. As a Boise High School and University of Southern Indiana alumna, Merris always knew she wanted to be in law enforcement.
When I was growing up, my mom and I, every Saturday night, we would walk down to the gas station, we'd get a soda and a bag of chips, go home and watch Cops and America's Most Wanted, and it was the best thing ever. And so I really think it's something that held my attention from a young age.
Almost 10 years in, her role looks a bit different than she imagined back then. It does not include patrolling the streets or making an arrest. It more so looks like this.
These tie.
Those are cool.
Those are cool? You want to try them on? You want to keep looking?
And this.
Salt and pepper on the top and inside.
Every day is a little bit different. There are times where I can just engage with the community, and there are times where I have to tell the community about an officer-involved shooting. So there are ups and downs, but I will say that being able to build those relationships in communities where maybe those relationships haven't been built before or they've been torn down, and people seeing my face and recognizing it and knowing, hey, I like that girl. You know, I've kind of felt a certain way about law enforcement, but I can trust her. And that's important. I take a lot of pride in that.
Taylor is the brains behind several community engagement projects for EPD, including a story time with a cop.
Where when kids see me dressed in this, they see a police officer, but they also see a police officer that's wearing book earrings or being funny or making weird sounds because the book is.
In the department's first ever podcast.
It's called What's Your 20, and it's a great way to talk about different units, talk about different officers, talk about accomplishments, struggles, really the whole gamut of things you can talk about. And by doing the podcast, we're reaching a totally different climate of people. And so it was really fun to start that and to be able to share people's stories.
Taylor is a familiar face in the community for several reasons, from the Disney adventures with cops connecting with kids.
We do all the things that we can do at Disney, and I will say most chaperones leave at crying at least once that week because there are things that sometimes we see through the kids' eyes that we would never expect.
Hardcore training in the boxing ring for 911 gives hope.
There is no experience that compares to walking down that ramp in front of 8,000 to 10,000 people, and you're getting ready to box somebody in the main event, your very first time boxing. And so I lost, but thinking about where that money goes for 911 Gives Hope and the people that it will help, that's what drives me.
There's no doubt Taylor has a soft spot for giving the voiceless a voice. That's why she'll be one of the few who jump at the opportunity to bear the freezing temperatures for Aurora's 48 hours of homeless experience.
For me, it was very eye-opening going to shelter, finding shelter, the requirements to be in shelter. And I didn't have anything with me except a backpack, a little bit of paperwork, a cell phone if I had to use it. And something as small as not having a hairbrush after taking a shower was the hardest part for me. And I hate to admit that, but having your things is important. And I still, to this day, I call it my homeless hairbrush, but I keep it here at work. So before I do interviews, I'll brush my hair with that brush as a reminder, what can I be doing differently for that community?
When the shift is over, her drive to give back does not retreat. In fact, she heads back to where it all began.
10 on each side, so 20 total. When I was a freshman at Boise, joining the golf team, I've been able to make so many relationships and go so many places because of golf. And so being able to give back to the high school that gave me so much is important to me. But just being able to support them in that way. Like I said, it's not always about money. It's about time and what you can offer.
But what makes Taylor remarkable is that not everything she does has been mentioned. In fact, it's just the start.
You don't even see these things as time consumption. You just see it as something that almost you were called to do.
Yeah, I've never even thought about it like that until you said that. It's if somebody says, hey, can we do this? Do you want to do this? Yeah, sign me up.
Although her actions may seem remarkable, it's not a word she'd use to describe herself.
I'm just a person. I'm a person who wears a uniform, wanting to make a difference for everybody else that wears a uniform, wanting to have a community that loves and supports us like we love and support them. And so I don't look at me being any different than any other police officer. I just have the space and opportunity to do what I do.
In Evansville, Jessica Costello, Eyewitness News.